the idea of terrorism is that nobody knows when they're going to strike. You know. So the purpose is to terrify people. It works. And my family's terrified. My mother's terrified. My friends are terrified. And that's the point. Other doctors, every doctor in this country who does abortions lives under death threat. They talk about the abortion debate. That's nonsense. There's no debate. This is a civil war. And the anti-abortion fanatics are using bullets and bombs. We are helping women. That's not a debate. You can't debate people that want to kill you, who say, do what we tell you to do, we're going to kill you, and they do. That's not a debate.
Have you had death threats leveled against you before, Doctor?
Thousands of times.
Yeah.
5 bullets, as is the front page of the Daily Camera. 5 bullets came through this, front window in 1988. That's all bulletproof windows now. And the threats continue.
Any since Sunday morning?
Well, we've had a couple of messages that were pretty unpleasant, or that implied innuendo, better shut up, But I regularly get, hate mail in the correspondence.
Have you had to have a cover like this before, a personal?
There was a time in the 80s when I was spending $1,000 a day for private armed security guards. That's not the normal cost of medical practice. It bankrupts you. You can't continue to operate. You can't meet expenses. It's just outrageous.
So when you heard your friend's death this weekend, you, I imagine, assumed immediately there might be a copycat effort by somebody?
Well, any time that happens, then you assume that the risk is higher because you don't know when or where they will strike again.
Right.
But they have sent the message, we will kill you, even in your own church. When you are unarmed and handing out church bulletins in a place of worship. It is so utterly grotesque and disgraceful. It is inhuman.
And before, you were telling me just a little bit about Dr. Tiller, how you got to know him professionally but also personally. Dr.
Tiller has been a friend of mine for 35 years. We talk often. We talked often about all kinds of things, about patient care, complications, our families, recreation, skiing, the weather, politics, whatever. We talked often. We're each other's only peer, really.
Yeah.
He invited me to his daughter's wedding. We went skiing together. We both had a hard time staying on the trail. I mean, we were good friends. We were on the platform together and speaking at medical conferences all over the world. And we knew each other well, and we give each other support. I'd have a big complication, I'd call him up, George, guess what happened? He said, you know what happened to me last year? You know what I mean? Kind of stuff.
You mostly talk by phone?
Yeah, but we saw each other at conferences quite often.
What was he like as a doctor?
He's a good doctor. He's a conscientious and dedicated physician who was very courageous and took good care of his patients. It was a tremendous help for women. They helped thousands of women and their families, and a great asset to American society. It's an absolute horror and shame, and disgrace that he was assassinated under any circumstances. And the anti-abortion movement makes me furious. The anti-abortion people say, "Oh, they're sad of it." No, it's crocodile tears. They don't care. They're happy. This is what they want.
And you said earlier you would love to see President Obama make a loud statement.
I think that until the President of the United States, whoever it is, stands up and says that safe abortion is a fundamental component of women's health care, and that we will not tolerate anti-abortion terrorism and violence, that this will continue. And the President has to say that anti-abortion fanatics need to leave people alone and go home. They can express their opinions, but they need to look at the fact that their violent rhetoric and prejudicial statements and words lead to this assassination. This is a direct consequence of that.